This is an old school project that I had to do a while back. The school project, however, is so important to me personally that I will just have to represent it in a video format for my channel. Now, in this presentation, I will be talking about a game that I believe is one of the best examples of how a game should treat the players and game characters' relationship. It's not the only way a game can have a player character and a player interact, but I believe it's the best one. However, before I can actually go on to that subject, we first have to talk about something called the magic circle. In video games, magic circle acts similarly to when reading a book, you dive deep into it. You get immersed in the story. A magic circle is similar. You and your console and your screen are surrounded by this magic circle. Inside this circle, everything that happens in the game is considered real. When, for example, when you are playing games like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption, you agree with the game that these events are happening and the struggles your character is going through are real. It's really important for game design that the game magic circle is exactly as large as it needs to be. More meta games, such as Inscription, have a secondary loop of this magic circle. Normally, the magic circle is between you and the game. However, in Inscription, you are playing as a character who is playing the game Inscription, which is there's a magic circle around the player and the game, and then there's another circle around the game and the player playing that game, and then you. I could go on to a whole different tangent about magic circles, but that's not the main point. It's just something that has to be acknowledged. While you're inside a game circle, you accept the game's reality as the truth. So now onto the game. I'm obviously talking about OneShot, an indie game made back in 2016 that's about a character, Nico, bringing a light bulb to the tower where the light bulb can act as a new sun for the world which is dying. Now, there's immediately a wrench thrown into this plan. As an early mission in the game, you have to open and activate a computer playing as Nico. However, this computer or something in the computer isn't exactly talking to Nico. Instead, he is talking about Nico, about how your actions affect Nico. They don't affect you, they affect Nico. And additionally, this computer changes the mission the game originally provided for you. Originally, it was given that you should bring the light bulb to the tower to work as a new sun. However, this individual, the first you interact with in the game, tells you that your mission is actually to simply help Nico leave. And to further cement this idea that they are speaking to you, they bring a separate window outside of the game window that is talking directly to you, talking about you only have one opportunity to do this. And this brings up the big thing in this game. You are not playing as Nico. Nico is their own individual. And secondly, you are not playing as a character playing a game. You yourself are a character in this story. You there sitting on your computer or maybe on a standing desk or using a handheld. You are part of the story of OneShot. And I believe this is nearly unique in gaming, but still so incredibly amazing. When we further play on the game, this idea of you and Nico being separate characters is enforced. You move as Nico in the game, and eventually you guide Nico to meeting a character called the Prophet Bot. Nico brings up this computer that talked about how your actions here will affect Nico, that was talking to you, the player. And Nico realizes that those messages were not meant for him, even though he was the only one in his eyes who was viewing those messages. Now, Prophetbot at this point explains to Nico that the player, us, are a god, so to say, in this reality, and that Nico themselves has a unique ability to communicate with us. And now, in the last screenshot, we can see Nico talking to the player. In this case, Nico asked the question of if the name Otro that the computer gave was correct, because in the game you can change that. And these sort of things you can talk with Nico. This again immediately shows it again that you are not just a character in the story of OneShot. You're not playing as a character, and that you are not a character yourself. You are you, the actual person, and as that actual person you are part of the story. Another way the game wants to highlight this is that a lot of the game's puzzles are what I like to call meta puzzles. In these puzzles, a piece of the puzzle is somewhere outside the game itself. In this case, the code for the save is hidden on a file in your computer that you need to find, and then you can use that file to open the save in the game. Now, Nico themselves doesn't have any reason to know this code, and so they obviously question why we know it. But we know it because the game world is, in fact, on our computer. The world is on our computer. However, Nico themselves is not perfectly normal in the story of OneShot either, as Nico is from a different world themselves. They are not from the world of OneShot, which is on our computer. I did believe that I'll go to that point later, but to explain this, you can see into Nico's dreams at few points during the game, after which you often have the opportunity to discuss these dreams with Nico. You can talk about how your world and Nico's world and this world Nico is in are all different. About how, for example, the sun is way different in Nico's world and in OneShot. How the sun is exactly more like it's in our reality than it's in the world of OneShot. Or how calling our own planet Earth is odd to them. So Nico is clearly not from our world, and they are clearly not from the world of OneShot. I believe this is a good tool to ease the players into seeing that Nico can communicate with us as no other character in OneShot can, because all of the other characters are from the world of OneShot. And this is unique. I haven't seen any other game so far do this in this exact manner, where the player themselves is part of the story. They are not part as a character, nor are they playing the part of a character that would be outside of the game. As in, for example, Inscription. In Inscription you are playing as a character playing a game. In this one, you are a character playing a game. you take part in the story in the most direct way possible. And I believe that is so incredibly special. So that's the thing I just wanted to highlight, because I feel like it's so important. Thank you for your short time. Sorry for my voice maybe being slightly off. It's currently 1 a.m. in the morning, and I really don't want to talk too loudly. So this might sound like me whispering, because I actually am. If it's too annoying like that, you can ask me in the comments. You can mention in the comments that you would like me to re-record this talking in my full voice. I don't know why, but yeah, sure, that's easy enough. But yeah, thank you for your time.